The night was still. The Mississippi River shimmered in the moonlight like a ribbon of silver winding through the wilderness. It was December 16, 1811, a quiet winter evening in the American frontier, and most settlers had no idea that their world was about to change forever. Suddenly, the earth groaned, a deep, guttural rumble from far beneath the soil. In the darkness, the ground heaved violently, tossing people from their beds and splitting the frozen earth into jagged chasms. The first shock of the new Madrid earthquake had struck.
Oh.
This was no ordinary quake. It tore across the land with unimaginable force, sending shockwaves that could be felt as far as Boston and Canada. Houses collapsed in seconds, chimneys tumbled, and entire forests swayed like blades of grass in the wind. But the most shocking sight was yet to come. As the quake's energy roared through the Mississippi River, it caused something almost unbelievable. The water began to flow backwards. Eyewitnesses watched in terror as massive waves surged upstream, swallowing boats and flooding riverbanks. Islands vanished beneath churning waters, and sandbars erupted like geysers, spewing mud, sand, and even dead fish high into the air. The Native American tribes of the region, long familiar with the land's moods, spoke of ancient legends warning of such disasters. For settlers, however, this was beyond anything they could imagine. The quake didn't stop after one terrifying moment. It kept coming. Over the next 3 months, the new Madrid seismic zone unleashed a series of massive quakes, each powerful enough to topple buildings hundreds of miles away. The largest aftershock in February 1812 was so intense that it permanently altered the course of the Mississippi. Entire lakes formed overnight, such as Reelfoot Lake in present-day Tennessee, created by the sudden collapse of land. Survivors described a constant roar, not just from the earth itself, but from the forests, the rivers, and the sky, as if nature itself had gone mad. The smell of sulfur filled the air, and strange lights flickered above the horizon, possibly caused by piezoelectric discharges from the stress deep underground. Animals fled en masse. Flocks of birds blackened the sky, and deer stampeded through settlements in their desperation to escape. The quakes were so massive that church bells rang spontaneously in Boston, over 1,000 miles away. In Washington, D.C., people feared an invasion or some apocalyptic event. But for those near the epicenter in Missouri Territory, the apocalypse already felt real. The Mississippi River, usually the lifeline of trade and travel, had become a deadly, unpredictable beast. Boatmen were hurled into the freezing water as their vessels were smashed like toys. Some survivors claimed to have seen whirlpools big enough to swallow entire cabins. Others swore they saw the riverbanks collapse like paper walls. When the final great quake struck in February, it was the most powerful of them all. The sky was filled with dust so thick that for hours, daylight was nearly blotted out. The Mississippi surged backward again, swallowing whole forests along its path. Entire communities disappeared, never to be rebuilt. Scientists today estimate the magnitude of the quakes to be between 7.5 and 8.0, some of the largest ever recorded in North America. The sheer violence of the event permanently reshaped the geography of the central United States. Rivers rerouted, new lakes were born, and scars in the land can still be seen more than 2 centuries later. For the people who lived through it, the earthquakes were more than a geological event. They were a trial of survival in an untamed land. No one had words for the terror of waking to find the solid ground itself rolling beneath you like an ocean wave. No one could have predicted that the mighty Mississippi would, even for a moment, defy nature and run backwards. The memory of that winter lived on in letters, diaries, and stories passed down through generations. It became one of the most dramatic reminders of nature's raw and unpredictable power in American history. And to this day, deep beneath the soil of the Midwest, the new Madrid fault still sleeps, restless, waiting for the day it might awaken again. Like and subscribe so you don't miss even more interesting historical facts.